Hi, everybody. My name is Mallory Strotheide, and I am so honored to be here for GRAR's 3 on 3 at 3 with this all-star group right here. So we're going to get started, and we are going to be talking about branding today. So all of these three panelists are awesome at what they do, and they have an awesome brand, and they're going to share what's helped them be successful. So I'm going to start and have them introduce themselves, tell us a little bit about themselves, where they work, how long they've been in the industry, and what profession they're in. So we'll start with you, Bryant. You'll go first.
Well, I am Bryant Mitchell. I have been a realtor for a bit over 16 years now. Long time. I work for Bella Bay Realty. I have a group there called Mitchell Real Estate Collective. What else did you want to know? That's it?
How long? You've already said how long you've been in the industry, where you work, and how did you get into real estate?
My junior year of college, I started flipping houses, and the realtor that I was using in Kalamazoo down at Western Michigan, his name's Wes Mazurek, and Wes was like, "You are a realtor. You know, you need to go get your real estate license." And I wasn't on that trajectory, and he actually paid for me to get my real estate license, and I got my license, and I'm here now. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
All right, Lauren, you're up.
I am Lauren Marcy, Grand Home Inspection. We started the business in 2015. I only really got involved 2018, kind of in 2019. It was really just a side hustle for my husband for a couple of years. I thought it was like a phase he was going to grow out of. I just kind of laughed at him. I said, "Don't talk to me about home inspections." And now this is my life's passion, and it's really so connected to who I am, what I'm about, and what I'm excited about in the future. So I see branding as that business, Grand Home Inspection, but I'm in the business of relationship building and growing my business. So I feel like I have my own personal brand. So it's thinking about those two things and how I show up in the business, how the business reflects my values and my personal brand, and how we grow Grand Home Inspection in a way that feels true to me, true to my husband, true to all the people that are involved in our world.
Awesome. All right, Brooke.
Oh, thanks.
My name is Brooke Finlan, and I'm the co-owner of Finlan Homes, and I'm a real estate agent under 5-Star Real Estate. And I'm in my 5th year of selling real estate. Before that, I was in the real estate business, but just on a property management and development side.
And how did you get into real estate? Property management? Was that how you got into it? Or?
Property
Okay.
management, I lived in Chicago for 10 years and started working in property management. But really, I got that job because I had a hospitality degree, and they hired me because of that, not because I had experience in anything to do with real estate.
Well,
So the one thing I see in common is everybody kind of got into real estate by chance, or somebody who helped urge them to get it in their lives, which is so cool, and that you're all here flourishing today. So awesome. And I'll introduce myself. I'm Mallory Strotheide. I am a loan officer at Treadstone Funding. I've been in lending since 2009. So an awesome time to get into lending, if anybody remembers that. And I've been through all of the ups and downs, and yeah, I'm here today, loving it and loving every second of lending. So, okay, we're going to get into the questions now. So,
Cool.
yeah. So the first question I think everybody wants to know is, we're talking about branding, and how would you describe your brand, and what is your brand, I guess, first of all, and then how did you come about your brand? And I'm going to have Bryant go first, because I know we were talking about this before we started. So your brand has recently kind of shifted a little bit. You've got a new name, and for the longest time, you were the Sunday Dinner Group. So let's talk about that, and we'll start with you.
so this is like just a half hour or something, right? So I'll keep it really, really basic. Our premise was we gave back 10% of our commissions back to the community, and we give back over $175,000 back to the community over like
Amazing.
an 8-year time frame. And thank you. So when I did this name change, it was at the same time as I was converting over to Bella Bay. And if you think about what the Sunday dinner thought process means to me, it's not the same for everybody. So I remember I was talking with Ashley Bedell, and she was talking with one of her clients, and her explanation of the Sunday Dinner Realty Partners, she didn't really have where did it come from? And she's like, well, I don't because my thought process is not hers, right? So I wanted to make something that was highly duplicatable for people. So Mitchell Real Estate Collective came about from that. We still have the same underlying philosophy. We're still giving back money, time, talent, treasure. We still do, fashion shows with Causeware. We do all that stuff still. So did I answer your question?
It does. I love that. That's
Okay.
awesome. All right, Lauren, you're up.
One thing real quick that makes me think of is somebody once told me, like, your vision as a leader is sort of like an umbrella. And if your people's vision doesn't fit underneath your umbrella, either they aren't the right people or your umbrella isn't big enough. And I think when we first started the company, it was really just Brian and I. So the umbrella was small and it really only encompassed ours. And as we've grown, what our vision looks like has changed, I don't know, 10 times, to make sure that it incorporates the vision of the people below us and the vision of the people that we serve too. So our last iteration really came not even that long ago, like 4 months ago, where we sort of landed on this focus of living the grand life by putting people first. So Grand Home Inspection was started because we wanted time freedom, really, to be with our kids. So we wanted to start our own business, to have time freedom, financial freedom. Everything comes with setting your own schedule and living true to what you want. So that was the grand life. Like, how do we build this grand life that we can do big vacations, we can spend great time with the kids, we can inspire other people, but everybody has their version of the grand life. So what I'm hoping to do is inspire the people below me to really ponder that and think, what is your version of the grand life? What does that mean? And for some people on our team, it's just been like, I just want to be financially in a great place. Like, I've never been financially in a great place, and that's the grand life. Some people want to go to Australia for a month. That's their grand life, So that's what it's about for me, is inspiring other people to live the grand life. And I think because we're in a service industry, we do that by putting people first. So if I put people first, whether it's like, the agents that we work with, the clients that we serve, I know that gives us growth, and growth brings opportunity, and opportunity is your chance to live the grand life. So
That's
It sounds like you really live your brand. Like,
Yeah.
that's your...
I'm trying, man.
You are.
I'm out
I
here
can tell.
trying.
Yes, I love it.
Live the grand life.
You do live
Yeah.
the grand life. We work together, right? You're living the grand life.
I love that. That's great. Thanks, Lauren. All right, Brooke, how about you?
So our brand is really a high-end feel real estate business with really focusing on hospitality. And it really comes down to the visuals and the photography. So that was kind of how we honed in on starting this brand. Everything is consistent. And I have to credit my business partner for that. I have Erin Finlan is my sister-in-law and business partner, and she's our director of marketing. She really taught me so much about, you don't send an email, you don't go to a listing appointment, you don't wear, a Finlan Homes shirt unless it is on brand. And that is like, everything is consistently the same all the time. So for us, it came down to, when we were starting to go on our own, we really spent a ton of time just watching what are other realtors doing, what's going on in the market. There's 3,000 plus realtors. Are we going to be in and out of this in a year? And we just saw this lack of just polish and like high-end photography. And so we kind of just focus on that. And everything is sophisticated, classic. And this is if it's a $100,000 house or a $700,000 house. Like, we do not treat our $100,000 clients any different than the high-end homes. So that's kind of how it developed, but really being consistent from day one.
Yeah. Your marketing is on point.
It
Like,
is.
anything that you post
Totally.
is,
Beautiful.
you can tell it's super consistent as an outsider looking in.
Totally.
I love watching the videos.
I'm very lucky to have her, and she's not available.
Yeah. Nobody's going to post her.
People ask me that all the time.
No,
Okay, so as somebody who's also in the business, and also I have my brand and I have my thoughts on this too, but I'm curious, how do you show your brand on social media? I know we talked a little bit about with you and that, Brooke, but what is your are you doing Facebook? Are you doing social media? And then how do you present yourself out there to let everybody know this is my brand, this is who I am? How are you doing that?
Who goes?
You want to go first, Bryant?
Sure. I guess a long time ago, I tried to keep stuff separate. I tried to keep people going to a Sunday Dinner page or Mitchell Real Estate Collective page, but I feel like that's not what people want. People want to see you your whole life. They're buying into what you are essentially selling. We don't really sell anything. We're selling a lifestyle, right? We're selling it so that people can know you, love you, trust you. And the more people that know you, love you, trust you, the more people that are more apt to use you as a realtor. So I mean, I show out like when we got our chickens, and I show like kids out. We're out sledding. People want to see what you're about because I don't know if it's just a West Michigan thing, but it could be. People want to really know you. As much as they can before they pick up the phone and call you. And this is me, right? I'm going fishing on the pontoon. I'm out showing clients. I'm doing workouts. I want people to have a relationship because that's what this business is. It's 1,000% relationship driven. People are going to be more apt to relay their friend over to you if and people will call me and ask me about another realtor. I'll be like, yeah, no, they're great. Like I've had tons of people, hey, what do you think about it? The dude's great. You should use him. Do you want us? Should we use you? If you're comfortable using Steve Volkers,
Right.
Steve is great.
He
Use
might be
him.
your dude.
Yeah, use him.
Yeah.
I love that you say that because that's so important. Everybody
Yeah.
has a different, like you said, a different fit in what they're
Absolutely.
looking for.
Yep.
And it's so good to support each other in that as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
not to get off topic, but I always encourage people to interview because we might not be the right fit.
Yeah.
but-
Absolutely.
And that's a great agent.
Put a square in a round hole. I mean, that's just so hard. It's hard for you, and it's hard for that client. If you guys aren't understanding things properly and you're just missing each other, the ultimate goal for that relationship is for that client to get a house. Not for me to go sign an agency contract for 6 months and, getting off topic.
Yeah.
But
that's so true. I
Having
mean,
about the client.
Yeah.
now talking about social media again, Lauren, I know you do a lot on social media, so I'm super curious for you as well. Are you posting like a mix of family and business? Do you have like guidelines that you try and go by? Are you okay?
Girl, I'm winging it.
Yeah, I love it.
I totally am. I was just at a conference, somebody asked me that. They're like, you're super, you're a frequent poster on social media. Like, what's the secret or whatever? I'm like, honestly, I just post whatever comes to mind. Like, sometimes I post 3 times a day and sometimes not. And I know there's an algorithm out there that wants me to do a certain thing, but I don't know. I'm not an expert there. But I think I've always used social media as a platform to put myself out there and connect with others. Like, I'm a writer. I always have been. So I write a lot on social media. Just here's what I'm going through. I try and share my experience. Sometimes it's business related. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's parenting. Sometimes, it's my highlight reel. And sometimes I'm saying, whoa, I'm really lost. Like, here's what I'm feeling. But I try to just be very authentic. Like, love them or hate them. But I always remember the Kardashians. It was probably Kris Kardashian because, she's in charge.
Yeah.
They said, like,
Yes, she
you have to make a commitment. Like, they said, we're going to make a commitment to be ourselves on this show.
Yeah.
And whether they actually did that or not is probably pretty debatable. But I've thought about that. Like, I've told myself, you have to make a commitment to be yourself.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's ugly, Sometimes that's going through an issue. Or sometimes you're in a really good place. So I always just think, like, how do I present myself in the truest form? And then on the opposite side of it, like, when people respond to it, be okay that it's not going to connect with some people. I don't jive with everybody. Sometimes, somebody might find me, I don't know, too much, a little extra. Or how we run our business, or, we have certain standards in our business, and that doesn't always jive with every, home buyer or every realtor is referring us, and that's okay. And coming to peace with that has kind of been a little bit of a process because it takes courage to put yourself out there and to brand yourself and say, here's who I am and here's what I stand for. And when you get bad feedback from that, it can hurt and stop you from continuing to do that. And that's not a good place to be, and I've been there. So I think then I tell myself, Kris Kardashian.
Yeah.
You made a commitment to be yourself. Now go out there and do it.
I love
that.
that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Haters gonna hate.
Haters gonna hate. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to get more business by being
Being, yeah, that's,
So-
I know.
Yeah. Then you got to.
You sound like my husband.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to remember who you were on that day.
Right.
To
And
try
then,
to, for those people to understand or relate with you. Like, oh, I'm the same all the time.
Yeah.
I don't have to be somebody different. If
Yeah.
that's the case, we don't need to work together. So,
exactly. And when you work with somebody, nobody's having fun.
no.
It's like, if we're not having fun, scratch it. Like, why are we even here? You know what I mean? Let's have fun in what we do day to day.
Yeah.
Brooke, how about you with your social media? Are you a mix of 80-20? Are you 50-50? Are you all business? Are you...
Honestly, I probably need to post more about my personal life, like my kids. I just don't a lot.
Yeah.
We don't really have a strict formula. We've gone to the social media classes, and there are some very strict, post on these days and these times. And when it has to do with the listing, yes, we hone in on that a little bit more. But no, I think you kind of took my word. Authentic. We really just try to do that every time. It always comes down to the brand, the coloring, the photography, and if it's national whatever day and that's just not us, like we're not going to jump on the bandwagon and post about it. Or if there's, this world is really hard. So if there's something going on in the world, we are very aware of that. And that's not a time to post something about our new listing or a before and after picture of like what we did staging a house. So we just really, I don't know, we try to be real on social media and be aware of those things, but no real formula. But probably like 90-10. But
Yeah. And that's great. I think everybody has their own system and what they're doing. I know for me personally, I just post, like, if you follow me, I post everything. I post my kids, I post my
yes.
mortgage stuff. And like what Bryant was saying, for a while, I was like, oh, do I keep it separate? Do I have my own Facebook page, for my business? And then after time, I'm like just what you said. It's like people want to work with you because it's you, not because it's some business picture on a business page.
I tried the double Facebook
Yeah.
page for a while, and it didn't really work. People want to trust me and know me, and
They end up friending you on your own page anyway.
right,
It's like,
right.
okay.
But it's not just about the deal, too. Like, we're in the business that we could have a client close today and a year from now call us because their water heater broke.
Yeah.
And, like, they want to feel comfortable calling us because we're there.
They might have
There.
called. Are you sure they didn't call me first? If it's
They
a water
got a
heater, they might have
warranty.
called me first.
They might call Lauren, yes.
But
They
we're in the people business where we want them to feel comfortable with us for life,
Yeah.
not just for that transaction.
Where social media fails is when you put too much thought into you. Just be you. If you're thinking too
Lighting.
hard about who you are, that's when it's when it all falls apart.
Great advice. I love it. Okay, so how did you start making your vision for your brand a reality? I know we touched on it a little bit, but you've got your brand, you've got this vision for what you want it to be. How did you put that into action and make it actually come to fruition? We'll start with you, Bryant.
Why you always got to start with me?
Right next to me.
So it's kind of weird that my vision for Sunday Dinner Realty Partners, that before that it was Bryant Real Estate Group. I don't know if you remember that, but that's when like Darren was with me, Darren DeFever and all that. So I was working on the Community Involvement Task Force here at GRAR, and we were doing an event, and I was working directly with Kay Courtney. Yep. And we were doing challenge scholars, and we were doing a book drive. And I went to, forget the name of the school on the northwest side, to drop off the books. And the principal, who is now retired, Gwen Heatley, she was talking about like how beneficial these books are to these kids.
Yeah.
And I had no idea that, very naive of me, but I had no idea on how, like, there was kids that didn't have like any books at their house, so we started really getting behind that, and then me and Darren sponsored a t-ball team.
Awesome.
And it went crazy. So that's what we started pouring into, is a lot of nonprofits, that kind of thing. So that's really where we started, and really it makes your business sticky, because you reach a point in this business where you're just kind of like, okay, another deal. Here's another deal. Here's some more. I mean, you can't love this just because of the money,
Right.
right? That's a short amount of time. So you have to, at least me personally, I had to have some reason that I wanted to do this. Like, what's my value? What value am I bringing to these people other than just selling them a house?
Yeah.
Like,
What's your why?
yeah, and Simon Sinek became very popular with me. My mom actually got me the book, and I was like, "What's this golden circle?" So I'm reading all about this, and I'm like, I got to figure out a why if I'm going to have sustainability in this business, because at the time I wasn't doing like extremely well. It was just I was just okay. I was just like meandering through this industry, closing houses, but your shelf life is super low. I mean, it's super high. You're not going to be here for that long. I don't know if that's high or low, but so
We get it.
so that's my answer.
Great. Lauren, how about you?
I think probably when we stopped thinking about inspections, like when we stopped thinking about the product and started thinking about the vision and who we were and who our team was and who the people were that we served, and started thinking about, how does this feel good? Like, when does this feel fulfilling? I've noticed, and this isn't to put anybody down, but a lot of inspectors go out there and they market themselves and they're like, we're so thorough. We're so thorough. And I think to myself, like, we all are. Every inspector who's gotten to a certain level is thorough.
I hope they're thorough, right?
Right, exactly. But what are you about? Like, who are you? Can you scale this business? Can you serve many realtors? Can you build great relationships? Can you make home buyers feel a certain way if you don't think more than just the inspection? So it's about the feeling. Like, how do I want everybody to feel in this? I think for us, it's a little bit of an advantage because I'm not a home inspector. Couldn't inspect a Barbie house. Like, that's not my thing. So it was kind of an outside perspective to go like, guys, this isn't what this is about. It's about how we make people feel. And that's when we could start to build that out. Like, what are the values there? Operating with integrity, listening to people. What does it mean to give good customer service? It's a list of things, and then we start to break that down. What does that look like? How do we train to that? So inspections are a teeny part of it, tiny part of it.
That's awesome. Brooke, how about you with your vision and making it a reality?
A couple things happened, and they were not planned. It was very organic, so I'll try to keep this short. But from a visual standpoint, it started with, okay, we're going to go out on our own, and it started with, okay, well, I need a headshot. So I was trying to explain to Erin how I, envisioned this all to be, and we met at the studio downtown, and instead of just bringing like a bag of props for me, she showed up with like a whole entire basically U-Haul of stuff.
Oh.
And it was overboard. The girl who owned the studio was like, wait, really, this is for a headshot? But the detail, the lighting, like everything really was kind of hit the start of what we wanted to create for other people. And so we just laughed, like that was not planned. We didn't know that that one headshot was going to really form how we did business. And then the hospitality part came in. This was before Erin and I were working together. I had a client who lost her husband and had a young son and was moving out of state. And she just couldn't keep up with her house. And for the price she wanted, the condition was not matching.
Yeah.
So Erin, I asked her to help. She boxed up 50 boxes of this woman's belongings, getting her ready to move. I called in, a friend to go around the house and switch light bulbs and do maintenance. We were doing yard work, just getting her ready. And we just had this moment after we sold her house at, this is not when the market was as crazy, but we sold her house. She had been there less than 2 years, with a profit. She was able to move, buy a house in another state. We just had this moment of we just put a lot of work in. We were mowing lawns, and I watched her dog at my house. This is before I was really a dog person. We were cleaning, like stuff that real estate agents might not think is their job, but this all added up to this beautiful experience, and that kind of formed, like we had that moment after we closed of, okay, wait, we might be onto something. We were able to help her and like give her this beautiful experience of selling her house because of the service and the hospitality. And so that's kind of where it started. We tried to take what is somebody's worst like pain point, and that's what we'll take on. So if it's yard work or, you know, boxing things up or painting a wall, like we'll just take that off their plate.
And I love that it was like one instance that you came to this realization that, hey, this is like you said, we're onto something. Like this is going to help people. This is going to set us apart and really give us our own brand and our own, you know, purpose in real estate. So that's so nice that that happened with the one client.
Yeah, it was a very emotional but beautiful experience. I never thought I would be a real estate agent who stages homes, but we did that for her, and then we're like, oh wait, like this looks really
We're onto something.
We're onto something.
And now you're here doing it all the time for everybody. So
I have to tell a quick story about Brooke and this attention to detail. So
oh,
we did, no, this is good. So we wanted to host Pictures with Santa for our referral partners, you know. And I called her and I'm like, would you be up for like staging, you know, like a little setting in here or whatever? And she rolled up, same thing, like 2 SUV trunkfuls of stuff. And I walk in, it's like by the fireplace, a lot going on. I'm like, this is way, I thought you were going to bring a chair. Like, I thought you were bringing a chair for Santa. So it's in those details, and you knock it out of the park. Like you're not above the details. You're not above mowing the lawn, you know, to give that service. That's sweet.
Gotta mow the lawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we always look nice at our listing presentation and say, you know, this is the last time you'll see us like this.
Yeah.
right.
We're about to get to work.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I love it. That's awesome. Okay. And then as far as, I guess, being successful in real estate, we're talking about building these authentic relationships. And we've been talking about that the whole time. So I guess what advice would you have for other agents on how to connect and engage with their desired audience and build those relationships? Like if you're a new realtor or a new inspector or a new lender, somebody new in the industry, how would you advise them to get started, like, and figure out what their brand's going to be and who they want to build relationships with?
Yeah, you can go for it.
You got it, Brooke.
Well, first, I think it's find what you're passionate about. What's the thing that's going to drive you every day? You know, for me, it's serving people. Lauren's about making a grand life and what that means for people. So what is it about real estate, you know, for the new realtors coming in that you love and that you are going to love 5 years from now and 10 years from now? And then I would hone in on that and then be very consistent, I think. And we've done this too. Failure makes us better, but if you try something and it doesn't work, you know, maybe try it again and just be consistent with everything you do. And I think it will kind of form. I know for us, it took about a year for folks to be like, oh, I saw a listing and I knew it was yours. So it's not something that happens overnight. I think consistency would be my biggest advice to anybody new.
I love that. Yeah, be consistent and figure out what you want and what you're passionate about.
I think to go back to Simon Sinek, there was something that I listened to on his podcast not that long ago that like really struck me is he said there's no such thing as strengths or weaknesses. There's only taking stock of both those things and putting yourself in an environment where your weaknesses are mitigated and your strengths are highlighted. And I think the first thing you can do is take stock of those. Like, what do I think are my strengths? What do I think are my weaknesses? How do I create an environment where those things are served? Like I'm serving both. Because I think of my weaknesses like I'm late to everything. Okay, well then I need to change my environment to allow for that. Instead of getting really hard on myself, like, dang, I need to like get up earlier. Whatever. You're just going through this whole thing about changing it. It's like just own that and create a world and an environment where that's facilitated. So I think, to go out there and be yourself, the first thing you have to do is take stock of who you are truly, who you're trying to be or pretending to be, and allowing yourself to be that person and create, like I said, that environment where you're allowed to be 100% you.
I love that. And that's, I know for myself, people ask me, they're like, oh, how did you like become the mortgage mama, right? And it was like, I just felt, as soon as I had my kids, I'm like, I just felt like I gravitated towards moms and other women. And I mean, I work with men obviously too, but I guess my thing is, I've always really connected well with women, supporting women and other moms. And I just really wanted to showcase that.
Yeah, if that's who you are, lean into it
Yeah.
fully.
Yeah.
And then people know it's not inauthentic.
Yeah.
And when you start being inauthentic, it doesn't draw anybody. When you start being yourself 100%,
Right.
people are the right people. Come to you like, it's magnetic.
Yeah. The first thing I ask a lot of like the newer agents is, what kind of agent do you want to be?
It's a great question.
And, some of them are, they have these crazy thoughts on how, like, the amount of money that they can make in like 9 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like,
9 minutes. That's all it takes,
it's
right?
like, what? This is not
$1 million listing.
Yeah, that's what I was like, this is not
Much
flip this
HGTV,
house
right?
or whatever.
Inspector Joe.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, coming from a perspective of an agent that works with a lot of nonprofits, and I'll kind of frame it in that lane, you got to figure out what you have a passion for, what you see on TV or Facebook or something that gives you like, it makes you sad. Like, I want to be able to better that, or I want to be able to assist in making that better in our community. I mean, is it homelessness? Is it kids that are hungry? Is it both? Because there's a lot that is going on in our community. I'm not trying to be like a Debbie Downer or anything. Sorry to all the Debbies that are watching this, but I don't want to like make it seem like paint this picture of like it's all negative, because it's not. You can aid a lot in this area, Kent County, Ottawa County, wherever you may be. Everything has a need. So I personally like that. I like being able to benefit our communities as much as possible. Now, that's not going to necessarily get you paid as a realtor, but it will broaden your audience. Because for me, it's all about broadening the audience. How many people am I able to talk to? Am I able to impact? And with that being said, joining GRAR is a big thing, and actually working and doing something within GRAR, because that exposure to the agents that will most likely be at those events, those are the agents that are doing volume, generally. Those are the agents that are doing something. So relating with them and being able to sit down with them and have a cup of coffee, and they can, because believe it or not, there's enough out here for everybody to eat, right?
Yeah.
There sure is. We touched on getting involved outside of just social media. So what kinds of organizations or committees are you involved in? And then how has that helped you with your brand and with your business? Yeah, go for it.
So I've been on the board for Well House for almost 4 years.
And what is Well House, if you don't mind?
Well House is an organization that aids in getting homeless people off of the street through a housing first model. So I help them get all of their houses. I think they're at like 16 or 17 houses now. And I've brought in like Heather Cronkright. Her board term is actually done. But bringing in more, I'm talking with a couple other realtors to be able to fill my spot, because this is my last year. I am a chair on the Grand Rapids Community Foundation. So, being able to help there, you really get front row seats to all of the nonprofits that are coming in and are needing assistance. So, we're able to, write checks for, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 for some of these organizations to get started. And what they're doing in our communities are just crazy. It's just amazing to be able to see that impact that they're offering. And then I was on tons of different boards here: community involvement task force. What else was I on? Finance. Not finance.
How do we follow this?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's just I always found that as marketing branding with GRAR. I always found that just fun to be able to see, what goes on behind the scenes, because there's a lot of people like, what does GRAR do for us? Yeah. Oh my gosh, we do so much. And they don't understand it until they get a chance to see it.
Yeah.
So.
And speaking of that, the GRAR branding.
Show up at happy hour.
Yeah. Well, I was like, look at the GRAR branding behind you. We've got we've got the water
That's
bottles.
true, yeah.
So.
thank God we had a meeting about this morning, or else I might not have anything to say. We just made a plan to support Realtor Community Fund.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we're going to try.
Forgot all about that one.
Right?
Jeez.
Oh, there you go. There's his 20th. So we just haven't been in a position, really, to be honest with you, of figuring out how we build that in, sustainably into our business. So that's our first step is like, let's do this for next quarter, figure out a percentage that we can do from every inspection to support Realtor Community Fund. And then I want to try and get some people to commit to matching.
Yeah.
So this is brand new thing. But how I show up in an organization, we're part of a coaching group. And I like to really put myself out there with the women in the inspection industry. So that it's a very small group.
I was going to say, I could imagine that.
Surprised, right? Yeah. It's like 20 of us in a room. But I like to put myself out there and just be encouraging there, because I have a mentor in that group who said to me, like, I've never been on an inspection, but I'm running an inspection company, and it's one of the biggest inspection companies in the U.S. And so I heard that, and it changed my life. So I like to be encouraging other women in the inspection industry in any way that I can. So that's kind of something I'm latching on to.
I love that.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're awesome.
Part two.
What are we involved in?
Yes.
Yeah,
What organizations or
Very
nonprofits?
Involved in GRAR, which was great. I was not the first year. I was a real estate agent, and that has just been amazing to meet people. And so I've served on committees. I'm currently on the Education and Professionalism Committee. I was am still very involved in Women's Council of Realtors.
Yep.
Been a board member on that for a couple years. And then really we focus a ton on our community. I have two boys. We're at, the baseball field probably 6 out of 7 days a week. And we just love our community. We love selling houses in our community and working and playing and just, I live in Caledonia. I love the people there. So we put a lot of our effort into sports teams and just things local to there.
So important to do that and to give back to your community, like you said, in the sports teams and the, events that they have going on.
Yeah.
I would like to just, what everybody said here, same thing. GRAR is awesome. I think that's what we can all relate to. Everybody wants to be involved in GRAR. And for me personally, like you said, I sponsor a little league team, and I just get so much joy out of that. I don't know if I'd ever get business from it, like my name's on the T-shirt, but I don't care, right?
That's what it's about,
yeah, the kids are having fun. And a charity softball tournament, because I'm really involved in softball. I've run that for, I think we're going on our 10th year here soon, involved in GRAR. So just fun things like that where you can give back to the community and still be involved. So.
And if they recognize your brand, then that's all the better.
Even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So if anybody has any final thoughts, I'd love to get them now before we wrap up.
I appreciate the opportunity. Yep. That's mine.
Yeah, same. I think don't be afraid to do the deep dive to figure out what you stand for, what you believe in, what lights your fire, and put that out there. And then you'll attract the right people, and work and life will be grand. You'll live that grand life,
I love that.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to fail. That's a big
Yes.
one. Yeah.
Fail forward.
Fail forward.
Is that another Simon Sinek? He's getting a lot of airplay right now.
That's actually.
Who is
I think
it?
That's Gary Keller. It says fail forward. Yeah.
Do love some Gary Keller.
Yeah. Good guy.
I think same. Just be authentic. Decide what you're passionate about, and once you decide what the brand is, kind of stick to that and be consistent. And also, thank you for moderating today,
Yes,
because
thank you.
are very well known for your branding. So.
Mortgage Mama.
Thank you. Yeah, it's
Hustle
been
like
an
a
honor to
mother.
be here. Yeah, hustle like a mother, everybody. That's my final words. Yeah, it's been great. It's been so much fun being here with all of you. You're all awesome and rock stars at what you do, and that's why you were chosen to be up here. And I think everybody's going to take something awesome away from this. So thanks again, everybody, and we'll see you soon.